Hi, good morning. Today, my classmate and I are going to discuss some questions regarding teaching English as a second language and teaching the culture of English speaking countries. My name is Gislian Olivos, and my classmate's name is Ignacia Herrera.
Hi, the first question is, should English language teachers teach the English language as well as the culture of English-speaking countries in schools? Why and why not?
Well, in my opinion, I think that it's important that English teachers teach the cultures of English-speaking countries because the students will not only feel more connected to what they are learning and they will understand better why they are learning that, they will also find the reasons behind of the content that they are learning in the classroom. Do you agree with this?
Yeah, I think that it's really important to teach the culture of these English language countries because with this you can give them the tool to understand the real meaning of the messages because when they see the utterances in the speech, they just see words and they see the literal meaning of these words. So when they have this learning of the culture of these English speaking countries, they can understand the message behind these words. When you combine certain words, you have a different meaning that is literally. So I think that it's really important for that because it gives you the tools to have a better understanding of the messages.
Yes,
And what do you
I
think?
think that's true. Um, I think that this would be connected also with the teacher showing the students the authentic materials and using these authentic materials in the classrooms because authentic materials are those things that are not designed for teaching English, but for they are designed for English speakers to use them in their everyday lives. For example, books, menus, news articles, podcasts, or movies. The second question is, should English language teaching continue being focused on the UK and USA, or should other English-speaking countries be included, considered too? Why? Why not? What would this imply?
Well, I think that it should be focused on the US and the UK English. Uh, especially in the UK, because sadly learning a language is a standardized process in order to understand the different types of English that exist. So for example, a person from the India speaks almost the same English than in the UK, but with a different accent. So, so having a great understanding of UK English, I think that it's enough to have a good communication between English speakers. And what do you think about this?
I haven't thought about that in that sense, but I agree with you to some extent because I think that is should uh, because I think that this should still be focused on those countries because they are some of the most powerful English speaking countries in the world and some of the biggest English speaking countries too, but maybe teachers should also include some information about other countries, especially if students are interested in knowing more about other countries too. And maybe they could teach them like the dialect of other countries too,
Yeah, for example,
but
in
to
the
some
India.
extent. Yeah.
Yeah, for example, in the India, they have a lot of different types of English. In all the states, they have their own language, but the common language for all the India is English. So I think that India is one of the countries that have most population in the world, and I think that it's a strong point here in this cultural mixing between English and different types of speaking.
Yes, but the thing is that sometimes English teachers teach things that we don't need in the real world. For example, they teach us how to say bathroom, but when you go to the United States or to the United Kingdom, they don't say bathroom. They say, for example, restroom. So
Mm.
if they don't teach us that, uh, we will not have the possibility to communicate in a great way, in a better way with native speakers.
Yeah, I think that they should include or consider these other English-speaking countries in another terms, not in the English language as itself, not in the words, not in the sentence structures, and that.
Yes, because we need the English to communicate with people that is native, not
Yeah, I think
to
that it
write
should
an
be
essay
standardized.
or something like that. We should already, well, we should also learn like the informal dialect that they use, because it's going to be sometimes better to communicate with an informal dialect to a formal one.
Okay, the third question is, should English language teachers promote the celebration of Halloween in schools? Why and why not?
I think maybe they should promote this celebration to know more about the history behind it, but I don't think they should promote Halloween as a big deal, because as I was saying, they should concentrate more on the history behind the celebration and maybe compare it to what this celebration, um, how this celebration has changed through the years and how we celebrate this celebration in our country. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you actually, because I think that teachers have to explain what it is, what it's about, where it came from. But I don't think that promoted like a party or a big celebration here in Chile would be good, because it's borrowed. It's something from another country. It's something that born in the UK, in Ireland. So. Uh, is not something like, I don't know, for example, the Night of Dead in Mexico that is from Latin America, and we are Latin Americans, so we can celebrate that as well. Or the San Juan's Night here in Chile, that is like that version.
Yeah.
But I think that Halloween, if it will be promoted, it would just be because of the costumes, because the kids have a nice time with that celebration, and not because of the big deal that is behind that celebration.
Yeah, I think that maybe the students could learn more about the history behind this celebration, but also they could learn more about some other English speaking country celebrations, because there are a lot. So, this celebration, Halloween, we have adopted in our country too. So, maybe we will learn more about others, and maybe they could present the information that they can find about the celebrations that is related more to the history of the celebration and not to the marketing things that are related to that celebration now.
Yeah, that will be very nice.
And the last question is, what are the socioeconomic and cultural implications of celebrating Halloween in Chilean schools and society?
Well, most of the people who celebrate Halloween in Chile don't know what it's about, where it came from, and why in the US and in the UK it's such a big deal. It's so popular and all. Um, I think that Halloween has practically just like a marketing strategy because of the setting of the costumes, the candies, the decoration. And I think that with this, we are losing part of our identity, borrowing traditions and celebrations from other countries to us. Instead of celebrating, for example, San Juan's Night, that is a really traditional celebration here in Chile. And what do you think about this? Do you agree?
Well, I think that we are already adopting this kind of celebrations in the country because we have celebrated Halloween since like 20, 30 years ago. And this, it, well, there aren't a lot of cultural implications to celebrate this, but we are losing the traditions and celebrations of our ancestors. And this is bad for our society, or our ancestors, and the future generations because they are not going to recognize the celebrations that our ancestors had, but they are going to celebrate only the celebrations that come from other countries. Um, in the in the sense of socioeconomic implications, I think that this can be negative, especially in schools, because in many schools there are like a diversity of people. So it's, see, if we celebrate Halloween in those schools, we are going to create a diversity because of the economic factor that the family has, for example, their situation. So some students are going to have like an amazing costume and others are not going to have costumes. So I think it's going to create like a um, it's going to create like a new,
Exclusion.
yes, exclusion and a new problem for teachers because they are not going to know how to handle this. Um, but in our society, I think it's only marketing and we are just following what the students know. What and we are just following the traditions of other countries because we are like, we see those countries as an example of where we want to in the country. For example, where we want to go. For example, in the economic system, we want to follow something similar to what the United States has, for example. We want to look similar to them. We want to replicate what they do. So I don't think it is positive because we have our own traditions and our own country, our own traditions and our own celebrations. So I think it is best for us to try to celebrate these celebrations, but like not make a great deal about it.
Yes, because if we make a big deal about it, we are going to start to lose our own identity as a country and as a culture because we're borrowing cultural stuffs from another countries.
Yes, we're going to become like a little United States, like the
Yes,
copy
like the
of,
copy, the cheap copy of the United States.
yes,
Yes.
like the United States of Latin America.
Yeah, that's a good name. Okay.